Hey guys, if you bear with me, I want to show you through exactly what I think you should do. And that's because of this video I saw by this guy last night. So I've seen him around here and there. I know he does really well. I know he's got a lot of great stuff to say. I don't usually watch him, but something of his caught my attention. And it's this right here. He just put this stuff out. He's saying, take a look at these keywords. They pay a lot. Cost per click on Google pays a lot. Best motorcycle accident lawyer, like $770 a click, right? And I recognize that because we already did recordings like a motorcycle accident lawyer or in LA is like $1,130 a click. It's nuts, right? So what's his point? His point is go sign up for Google's AdSense program. Get the code, stick it on your website. That allows banners to display or the text ads with the blue and the green and the black print, that somebody can click on. Put that there because you get the code and you make a really good web page. If the web page is good, it's good quality, written well, then what happens is Google likes to put the better versions of the ads on those things because they're holding people's attention, and the longer they read, then when they see a matching ad, they tend to want to click it, and Google makes more money that way. So you know what? We have the ability to go ballistic with that. And not just that, we want to put on websites that have phone numbers that people can call if they fit the criteria we put right by the phone number. So if they fit the criteria, they may as well call the phone number now. If they don't fit the criteria, usually the ad will say something general but won't lay out all the criteria, and so they'll click on it to wind up over on the other side. Oh, nice. So if they call the phone number, that's like $500. If they don't call the phone number and they were going to leave but they see the ad and they click on it, that's like $500. Now the AdSense is going to pay out like 40% of the cost of the click. So, it's going to be a different amount every time. It could be $200, $400, $300, whatever. But here, let me continue because then my question to you will be this. How do you know where you want to get a position, where you want to land your claim and stake it and do the math and see the value of that? And before I do, I'm going to tell you a third way to earn this way. So first way is if they call that phone number. Second way is if they click that ad. The third way is the fact that we decrypt them anyway. About 40% of the time, we know who about 40% of those guys are. And if they showed engagement on the website, if they watched a video, if they clicked on a couple of pages, whatever it is, anything that we're calling good engagement, then we can get lawyers to actually pick up on those leads. As a matter of fact, if we want, we can reach out to a couple of lawyers that have the pop-ups for the live chat and see if they want to put them on our sites. Okay? They'll pay nothing for that. That's for free. But if people are converting through that thing, right, we'll get the chat transcripts, and if they're good chats, then we get paid for the leads, right? Or else we're going to switch to somebody else's live chat and they're not going to want that. So that's 3 different ways to make a lot. So we can make like $500 on a direct call, $200 to $400 per click on an ad, and like $200, maybe $250 for a chat text transcript that is good, right? So I don't know about you. There's terrific money to be made because this can happen every day on the sites that we generate for you. And that brings us to this question. How do you know where to get a project where there's going to be a lot of action? What if you buy into a county that you think is doing well and it doesn't hardly have any accidents? Well, let me walk you through that because I broke that down, okay? So let me just keep going for a minute. Google pays out on AdSense monthly. For those who don't know, it's between the 21st and the 26th of the month. And what that means is you get a payment coming. And that's your cumulative payment for the month, which can be freaking huge. It really just depends on whether you can pitch the big boys, which we can do because we're web savvy. They're not. Matter of fact, it was fun? Watching the competitiveness, the difficulty of so many of these keywords. You would think difficulty, it runs on a scale of 1 to 100. 100 being the hardest, right? 80 to 100? We basically don't even touch it when we build websites because we're probably not going to catch it. Now, we're not trying to catch it when we're aiming for the topic. We're filling it all in and we're going to grab a bunch of keywords along the way. Okay, we're not going to get the 80 to 100 anytime soon. Part of earning that is domain age. but anything from keyword of 1 to 70 is within grasp. Look at this. They're all within 1 to 70. Many of these things are way below that. They're like 20, 31, 33, 21, 7, 18, 18, 21, 26. You know how much money there is when you add all this stuff up and you're getting like 40% of the cost per click on low difficulty keywords where you didn't just have one site, you had like 5 or 10 websites that are backlinking each other and ranking together in the area. That really increases your ROI because you're not just one of the potential clicks on the front page, but you're 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You're multiple things that somebody can choose to click on the front page. And all written by AI bots that are supervised by the website combinations for the highest ROI that's supervised by people looking in at the whole thing, which these days is a lot of what you're paying for, monitoring. And that's great. We could never do it before. We could never monitor 5 million pages before. Now, we don't need to create 5 million. We need to create 50,000 top quality pages and monitor them, which we can do because we've streamlined how that process works. It's amazing. So we can force all of the projects to become more profitable just by watching how people act on the websites, getting the stats, and making the changes that improve things, making sure they see the right stuff at the right time. Okay, I made that point. So yeah, let me continue on, right? Payments monthly. Decrypt my leads. I want to point this out. We threw this project up a year ago. Okay, we started grabbing people. Okay, now YouTube will block me if I show you all the data, so I've got to take all the data points out and just leave it with a first name and a state. That way there's no way that anyone can say I'm bullying anybody or targeting anyone. We got Robert in California. Okay, so check this out. Delivery dates going as far back as 10/21/2021, and what is it today? November 1st, 2022. Right? Look at this. It's just on and on and on. These are the humans we decrypted. They didn't tell us they were there, but they landed there. They're humans, okay? People. Now, we had 183 in the course of the year. I mean, I'm on page 1, page 2, right? But 183 in the course of the year, okay? All the way up to like 1028 was the last capture, okay? Now, what the heck? A couple of things I want to point out because it's important. One, when we did that is one site of very, very many industries, okay, that we were doing all at the same time, like 106 entries, some for clients, some direct out there. And these are industries by and large, okay? The industries, that's me. The industries are for all the different things and all the different locations. And so then we send leads to all the guys who are calling in, right? Or all the guys who are landing on the sites, right? Now, here's the thing. That particular project with the affiliates, this project right here for car accident attorneys is what the project was for. This whole thing is... they were landing on websites that didn't have anyone's phone number in particular. But it was a lot of lawyers that we used because when we structured all the websites, we just grabbed a bunch of lawyers in the areas across the nation. We created pages promoting them. So I have no idea how much those guys made. And I wish I could take it back. But I'll tell you what, we learned a ton, man. And all I want to say is this. We got a lot of people. How much would 183 people be? And by the way, that's just the ones we decrypted. The rest of them probably brings that number up to 300. So if you said 300 and you said out of the 300, how many do you want to say clicked the phone number, right? And called 300 times, I don't know, what do you want to say? Do you want to say like 50%? 0.5 is 150 times getting paid like $500? Yeah, $75,000. And what if another, and so say it's half that, I don't care. Say it's 40,000. And then say another 40,000 or 30,000, I don't care, 25,000 came in through the Google AdSense. That's 65,000. And then say along with that 65,000, let's say call directly, passing the leads through. Here's what's different about passing the leads through today. In the old days, when we go to offer leads, people would say, well, how engaged are they? And we'd say, we don't know. They landed on the website, which is when we captured them and we're offering them to you. And the guy's like, okay, so I got to call through a bunch of maybes to get a yes. Okay, that's a lot of work, though. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be hard. It's going to make my secretary or receptionist feel bad if somebody tells her off because they're not interested. So we got a lot of that. You know what we can do now? Because we track user scrolling and user interactions on the site, we can measure the engagement of each user. And so we can say, Bob watched the video and clicked on 3 pages and spent 20 minutes on the website. You should talk to Bob. These are the pages he was looking at. These are the things he clicked on. This is his order of events, but real simple, right? Bob did A, B, C, and D. Bob was engaged 4 ways. So here's Bob. So then the receptionist is like, okay, Bob looked at A, B, C, and D, B being the video. I'm going to call Bob. I've got a pretty good idea what he needs. How's that? That's called an engaged lead. You know how much an engaged lead is worth? Like $200 in this industry, right? Accident attorneys. Like $200 for a cost per lead in a case like that because the guy's engaged. Isn't that insane? So, what can I tell you? All right, the amount of money that comes off of these projects is insane. It can turn into, if you've got, I don't know how many visitors, like right now, that was what we did with spun content, right? But everything else about the websites were incredible. And we were always limited by that Achilles heel. Now we're not. Now we're going to use completely engaging, convincing, incentivizing, basically inspiring content to encourage the people to want to make that call now, to feel good about making it. Or if they don't fit the criteria, clicking the link to see what else is available, okay? And we will watch their actions on the site, and we will make sure that they're doing what we think and that they're enjoying it, so to speak. I mean, it's personal injury. They can't be enjoying it. We'll dial it in. Then we'll make sure the websites check with each other. We'll make sure to oversee that. And if all you guys are getting in that one project, because it's basically the same concept, state by state, county by county, then we can oversee all of your projects at the same time. We can do the work for all of your projects without getting burned out or spun out, because all of your projects are based on the same stuff that we get to lockstep. Okay? It's huge. Now, let me take that further. This is fun, because here's the question then. Like, say you were to go right here and say, okay, I'm going to claim a position, because this is how you're going to want to do this, not just try to run it yourself with your own super affiliate sites. You want to get in at this level. And if you do, we're going to play at this level. So say you go to Accident Lawyers, okay? I set the offset low because I want to open this door for everyone. I know it's late in the year. I know it's November. It's November right now. I don't want you guys to miss this. I want to get this thing going so it's hitting hard for 2023. For everyone who wants to maximize their earnings in 2023, you got to start a couple of months early. You need to get in. Well, as you know, the county that's the highest population is the most expensive. I got that down to here, which frankly isn't that expensive. Imagine you had a guy every day either call that phone number or click that Google ad banner, the AdSense stuff, or we're sewing that lead off. You're talking about either $500, $400, $300, or $200 worth of income for the day. So it's like what, $330 a day? 3 days get you 1,000. 6 days get you 2,000. And this is per small set of sites, like 5 or 10. But what do you think 62,750 is for? LA. You know how many sites we're going to make for 62,750 bucks? Well, our $15,000 package is 100 websites. This is more than 4 times that. You know how much traffic we can take in? Having said that, two more things. One, let's see what the cheapest is, because it's a range based on population, right? Cheapest is $12.50. So even if you hopped on the super affiliate sites and you were paying $12.50 a month, that means that every month we could add another one of these for you. Every month add another one of these for you. Doesn't mean you have to. It just depends on what you can handle. Or if you just want to jump and you say, I can afford 3 months worth right now, then you come up to a higher population, right? Take it up to something like 546 and go, okay, you know, that's something I can handle right now, so that we can start it all right now. But is that the right county? Which is a really good county? Which counties are going to make you more money? I came up with a really good way of answering that question, and in a way you can follow along with. So I went and did a little research. Annual personal injury cases per state. And I got statistics. And I looked through them. And then I came and compared somebody else's points too, because they made other points. Then I went in and did a whole personal injuries from car accident by county in the USA. I was curious. So we were talking about a couple of things. One was work injuries. How many people are killed from a work injury? Okay. And how many people are killed from car crashes and percentages of these things. And I went through the states and I figured out the answers for things like fatal crash. By the way, if you're thinking fatal crash, that's not personal injury. No, but fatal crash means somebody gets a payout and some insurance companies probably not wanting to pay it out, or they're wanting to claim it wasn't what it was, right? Or not enough witnesses, right? And so it goes to court, this stuff happens. So anyway, I'm going to show you the highlights on these things, and I'm going to show you how these numbers go, because real fast, here's the cool thing. I went and looked up stuff like injuries, illnesses, and fatalities, and I found the map for where that happens, like work-related injuries are highest in these states: California, Texas, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. That's where they're the highest. Then comes the second highest, the third highest. So I can tell you where the greatest likelihood is of the cases based on just the sheer numbers. The higher the numbers, the less desirable the payouts, the less anyone wants to pay out because it's painful to pay out all the time. So you can bet that that's better. Now this tells the state, but not the county. I kept drilling. All right, so like for car accidents, after all, that's like half of the accidents that happen that turn into personal injury cases, right? Car accident deaths by county. I found a place where you look this up. And so take some state that's got the most problems. I don't know, whatever the state is. Could be Michigan, could be Alabama, could be any of those states, Mississippi, whatever. Look at this. Number of motor vehicle deaths in a year. You're talking like Allegan County, 113. Calhoun, 129. Berrien, 124. You know? Eaton, 103. Genesee is 363. These are counties that have crazy tolls. Kent, Michigan has 430. Holy criminy. Macomb County has 408. Oakland has 449. Wayne has 1,138. Okay? All I'm doing is saying there's a lot of overlap between car accidents and work injury related accidents. Car accidents are the higher of the two. Car accidents account for about 50%, work injury another percentage is lower. Watch this. I put this folder together real quick. I want to point it out. And I highlighted all the important stuff. We're just going to walk through these real quick. Okay? Because you're going to understand so fast. So much so fast, right? Personal injuries. Around 31 million people are injured across our country each year that require medical treatment. Of those, some 2 million are severe enough to require some form of hospitalization. 2 million people in a hospital every year. That require at least some medical treatment is 31 million, but 2 million get that far. Data from National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reveals there are about 5.5 million car accidents in the country each year. These lead to 3 million injuries as well as 40,000 fatalities. You've got drunk drivers, uninsured drivers, you've got people that hit and run, You've got all kinds of cases involved in that. They've also revealed that a further 60,000 injuries, as well as 5,000 deaths occur each year as a result of truck accidents. There are motorcycle accidents, there's everything. Looking next at construction accidents, there's like 300,000 personal injuries per year and 1,000 deaths, okay? And then medical malpractice is something like 98,000 people each year. Isn't that insane? Okay, those are like the 3 top things that cause pain, cause death. Statistics of personal injury, okay? They talk about all the cases of all the tort trials, real property trials, contract trials that happen. 60% were related to some form of personal injury. More than 7,000 personal injury cases were heard in the state courts of the 75 most populous counties in our country. 7,000 personal injury cases may not sound like a lot because they're 5% of the total, where the other 95% is settled out of court. Now, that's crazy, isn't it? It's important to understand how significant it is since only 4%, okay, of personal injury cases actually go to trial. The majority settle out of court. The actual personal injury claims that happen, the fact that somebody does call the number, or somebody clicks the AdSense banner, or we can offer that somebody have that live chat pop-up box on the website, or that they buy the lead because he's somewhat active. Which is actually 4 different ways to earn off the project, okay? Now, they settle out of court. So the estimation is over 400,000 of these things per year, okay? 400,000 a year, all right? Accidents happen wherever they happen. They can happen in urban areas, rural areas. They happen in bigger cities, smaller cities. So just keep in mind that they do happen everywhere, but are there categories that we can follow for better hits? And the answer is yes. Does a certain type of person get injured or killed more often than others? And by the way, I want to point this out. Look at that. The phone number, man. This is what we're going to have, right? A phone number that people can call that will hook them up with the right person, okay? That is the goal because the phone number goes on your sites. Okay, that is what leads to getting paid first. But here's the second thing that leads to getting paid. This right here. This is a code snippet that we stick in our website for whoever in the area. You know, whoever says yes, that they're willing to pay for the leads that we can get them, as long as they just have to pay for the good ones, a normal rate, you know, and we're not charging them to host the chat box thing on our site. Okay, we're just giving them a chance, you know, and as soon as they start dealing with any of the people that start to chat, they're legitimate, we're happy. That's a second income stream. What's a third income stream that we don't see here? Google AdSense. It'll be here somewhere, and it'll be like that big banner that says, did you receive a serious injury, get a serious payout, we lost no cases, or whatever, and you could click there. That's huge, right? So this is like a $500 payment. This is like a $200 to $400 payment, the banner. This is like a $200 payment here. You know, any of these, that's so huge. And that's page by page, site by site, where all of the pages are reordering to get the sections to maximize the ROI, and where all of the writing on every single page is like this, is top quality all the way around. Okay, let me keep going. Oh, yeah. Certain type of person get injured or killed more often than others. And the answer is yeah. Lower income generally means you're more likely to walk or bike around, which gets you hit by a car more often. Additionally, the infrastructure of lower income areas isn't maintained as well. So you can have potholes in the road, things that cause people to swerve, which increase the chances of people getting hurt. And then even another kind of injury, housing. The housing can get neglected. So there can be hazards, electrical issues, damaged staircases, sharp things jutting out, where the landlord just didn't care. And yet it is the landlord's responsibility if you get hurt, right? That is federally mandated. States do not decide that I mean, they may decide that on their own, but every state has rules about that. Every single state. Doesn't matter how poor you are. If you've got the right representation for the right kind of a case, you're in the door. Okay. So do we care how many of these things go to court? No. Do we care how they got hurt? Directly speaking, no. As long as somebody who has the insurance is running off and trying to avoid making the payment, the landlord, the other driver, hit and run situation, or whatever it is, right? That we're in the green, right? That kind of thing. Or the person on the website sees that they don't fit the conditions for the call, so they click the banner ad instead. We get paid. You get paid. We get paid. However it goes. Because I'll break that down soon too. In other words, we're going to split the payments. I'm bringing this thing low enough that everyone can leap in, and then we're going to govern the whole thing. Because of that, we're doing it for us, but you're getting pulled along for the ride because you made it possible for us to throw that up. The reasons for your payments is to allow us to create that foundation and then expand upon it so that we can make a lot of money through there, of which you're going to get half. Okay? And we're going to make sure to pay your part out in full first until you're paid back. And then we'll split half on the rest. Reason for that being, get you taken care of. It's the holiday season. We want you back to where you started quick and then split it with you. Okay, check this out. 52% result from car accidents, 15% from medical malpractice. You know what? We don't want to focus on medical malpractice. Sounds to me like the lawyers rarely win. This is kind of like wins, or what? The personal types. Oh, sorry. This is the percentage of cases that come up. Okay. Out of all those 300,000 and 500,000 personal injury cases. Okay. Let me get back to this. How often do they win? All the cases are unique. Okay. A report on trial outcomes from the Department of Justice shows that roughly half of personal injury plaintiffs win their cases. Half. Success rates vary depending on the nature of the case. Success rate for car accident cases, about 61%. Dog bites, about 67%. Intentional tort trials, 50%. Premise liability trials, 39%. Permanent product liability trials, 38%. Fine. Premise liability probably being residence, and then product liability being you got hurt by using a product because it was rotten and shouldn't have been. Who knows? But anyway, we don't need to care. All we know is this. Don't bother with medical malpractice trials because it's only about a 19% win rate. So we're going to ignore those. But we're going to write all of our content for the stuff that goes for the best wins. Do you get it? Best wins with the best money payouts. Which leads me to this. It's breaking down how often plaintiffs are successful in the different cases. It's breaking down how much they get awarded for the different situations. And it breaks down how long the cases took to win. You know what? We're not the lawyer. We get paid up front for giving the lawyer the lead. We don't need to care about this. We don't need to care about this. All we have to care about is this way, way, way more than the 500 that we were owed for the lead, right? We don't care how long it takes them to win it. That has nothing to do with us. All right. I mean, that guy's going to bill by the hour, right? And so he's going to charge them for the work he's doing for all those 2 years. But he paid us our 500 first. That's what we needed to care about. And all of this doesn't matter. And however many of them got settled out of court doesn't matter. Gee. Let's take a look at some of the coolest stuff. It's cool. I mean, it's personal injury. It's not cool. But this is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. It is a U.S. government website. Still. Won't get into that. Detailed data on non-fatal injuries and illnesses, including by occupation and event and source in nature. That stuff led me here, right? And I just want to point this out. When you're looking at work injuries that are non-fatal, right? Total non-fatal work injuries and illnesses by the year, okay? You've got California, Texas, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York as being 7 great states to consider, right? When you're thinking about claiming a position. In other words, we're trying to dial in, right? So we're getting a clue. Try to memorize those real quick because we're going to keep going. And what we've got here, not much in the way of a layover, but here's what you have. I looked up deaths from car accidents, fatal crash totals, because that gives me a clue that if that many people died in those areas, you know what? A lot of people are getting injured in those areas who did not die. Okay? The fatality rate in one state, the states goes from high to low, and its fatality rate ranges from like a low of 4.9 in Massachusetts to a high of 25.4 in Mississippi. It's nuts. The really high states are Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Wyoming. These are the highest by percentage injury or death, which is going to, mean injuries not far off, right? If they're driving that badly, there's a lot of injuries there, okay? So these states are great when you're choosing a position from Decrypt My Leads for accident attorneys, okay? So check it out. There's that. Now, again, that tells you the state, but a state is pretty big. What if a state has a bunch of safe driving areas where people are really safe, maybe farmland, and then some downtown areas where some of the downtown areas are really safe, other downtown areas are horrible. Got to be able to choose by the county, not the state, right? Because you got to dial into the right location for your project. Let's go further. I did look it up. Car accident deaths by county, okay? And I got a great resource right here, the countyhealthrankings.org, for being able to look into this. So if you do the search, car accident deaths, plural, car accident deaths, and then you put by county in double quotes, you'll probably see this thing pop up first, okay? Find it. Motor vehicle crash deaths, county health rankings, okay? That way when you find it and you go there, make sure you're there. Once you're on that page and you're at the motor vehicle crash deaths, which is a really good spot to explore the data, okay? Click this thing. And that allows us to select a state. When you select a state, like Alabama, I said was high, right? You could select another state. Here's what I'm in. I found you have to go back or else it takes you somewhere else. Maybe, select a county is one thing, but take a look. I'm on the measurables tab. And guess what? I can look at the counties that are inside of Alabama, and I can look at the number of motor vehicle deaths. Okay? Such a huge discrepancy from county to county to county. Now, population could be similar, could be different, could be way off the charts. Calhoun is something like 114,000 people in Calhoun. That's kind of 176. But we don't have it on Decrypt My Leads because we don't go that low. And one reason, dynamics change. If you get below like 200,000 people in an area, you know what you run the risk of? Everyone knows everyone, for the most part. When you go downtown, there's only one law office, right? So you don't want to go too low. But Baldwin, 252 motor vehicle deaths, I would buy into that project, okay? Take a look at that. County has a death by crash for about 70% of the days of the year, and surely the serious injury count's got to be higher. So not only are the lawyers' phones ringing for 252 deaths of the payouts, whichever ones the payouts aren't very easy on, and even when the car company offers the payouts, very often the people are going to say, no, that's not enough. You owe more, and they say, yeah, we don't want to pay more, right? Because they don't want to pay more. And so what do you get? Not only is it about the deaths that happen there, but all the injuries, and there are probably 5 times as many injuries, and many of them didn't get paid out well enough for the situation at hand. You know how it is. The guy said, oh, I hit my leg, but I kind of feel all right. Don't worry about it. Well, the leg turns out to be a real problem. And he finally has to give in and go for the payout. Why? Because the hospital's telling him he's not covered for that. He should do something about that, whatever. And so he calls and says, I've got to deal with this. And he tries to get a hold of the guy, and they say, we don't want to pay you. And so he's got to sue him, right? He talks to a lawyer who says this is the proper channel to go through. Get it? My God. So if you're talking about 252 and maybe another 5 times that, you're talking about like 1,250 in a year. That's like 4 a day. Okay? 4 a day. What if we did enough website work in the Baldwin area that one of those 4 clicks on our website every day? Well, you're coming to the website for which? Need, greed, curiosity, or fear? Need. You need to sue somebody and get paid. You need to choose a lawyer. So the chances are, once you wind up on the site, if the site is interesting and it gives you direct options, there's a live chat box, there's a phone number you can call, and there's a clickable AdSense strip here. And you see the conditions, but you could always ask the question, see what they say. And you could always click this banner if this guy says, sorry, we can't help because the other guy didn't have insurance. And you're like, well, what about these guys here? And you click. Oh my God, the amount of money that you can get paid for this sort of thing. Nuts. Just nuts. Okay, that comes to the end of my slideshow. But what I'm saying is you can go back and look at these states. Like I said, try to memorize these states, right? Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Wyoming, and then go in. Now, their population is going to affect the payouts, but the higher you pay in, the higher we insure your payouts because we're always trying to do that by a guarantee, okay? On this program, everyone coming in at this level, I want to be able to guarantee you 10 times back on your in because we're going to work with so many of you who are funding the same thing that we can focus all in on this. Okay? So the idea that we can just make sure to have enough manpower to manage all of it and ensure the profitability means the other half of the equation. You want us to earn half while you earn half so that you get dragged along for the ride. If it was all you earning and all you did was pay us in the beginning, like $1,500 or $5,000, that's not gonna last long. My business cost me about $750 per work day. Okay, literally, it's $1,500 for 2 days of my business to operate. Okay, with everybody involved. So it's not a lot. But when you're paying a share that we can rely on that's coming in, what that means is we can keep reinvesting our time, our efforts, our energies into ensuring that this project layer gets great. Now I'm telling you, from the time I was watching this guy go and realizing it's not just me, it's him too, and a lot of other guys. It doesn't take long to find how many guys are talking about this kind of thing. But do you know what? We can beat this kind of average affiliate website hands down. Have you seen his websites? They're silly. Some of them are great, I'm sure, but some are just plain silly. And my point is simply, these are guys who work one at a time. They talk about making a website. We make so many so fast all at once, and we get so many leads off the thing, okay, off that stack, without fail. So now that we know what to do with these people, I mean, if I were to go back right now through these people, I'd ensure I'd average like $300 a person. They'd all do something because they're need-based websites. So if it was like 300 times 300, it'd be like $90,000 payout on this thing. And that's playing it the old way without even monitoring it because we didn't monitor it at all. That whole thing kind of just happened on the side. The numbers were growing, but we were busy with all the other industries, so it got lost in the mix. And we didn't really think about it like this. For us, it was just another industry. Now we know better. And now that we know better, a number like 300 is peanuts. You know, the 183 that we captured plus the remainder were guys that we didn't because they were in a Starbucks on a shared Wi-Fi, say. But the reality check is it's peanuts. I mean, what we can do now is so much stronger. It's insane. We can get, I don't know, 1,000 leads in 6 months for the same amount of effort, okay? And it's massive, the amount of money that'll come out of this thing. Okay, if you were to do accident lawyers and you looked up that one county, Baldwin, right? What do we say about Baldwin? Baldwin, Alabama. 1,364. Think you can handle that? If you can lock that in for 1,364, that was the Baldwin. Where's that screenshot again? The Baldwin that I showed you here. Alabama, Baldwin County, 252 motor vehicle deaths a year. Okay? Wow, that is worthy of locking in. Even if you plan to get another one, if you were thinking, should I pay for something that's twice the population just once? Or should I pay for two things that have lesser population? My point, do like I did. Go look up car accident deaths by county in double quotes so that you can hit that link, okay, for county health ranking so you can explore the data, so you can select the state, you know, whatever you're thinking about from the list of states I gave you where these accidents are highest. What was that again? I'm just going in circles to make sure you lock this in mentally so you can do this, okay? I did most of the work for you. You're just final choosing. Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana. So it's 2 A's and 3 M's, right? Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana, New Mexico, Oakland, come right after them, MNO, New Mexico and Oklahoma, and then South Carolina, Tennessee, and Wyoming. Go through these, find good cities, get as many as you want, build it up, because imagine a minimum 10 times back in a year, and I'm just saying 10 times back to cover my rear. You know what the payout's going to be if you're splitting half and half with us and we're doing all of you guys at once and we're taking the best knowns back across you guys? I don't know how to put it. I think I can get 3 sales a day to any one of you times, I don't know, however many websites you got in. Let's be dumb. Let's say a sale a day times how many working days? Let's just say that. Let's say it's 20 days a month times 50 weeks out of 52 is 1,000. Okay? Times, let's say an average of 300 equals, divide by 2, half is ours, 150K. You'll make like 150K. What if you go in for a bigger project? What if your project's like 4 times the investment? You're talking about like 600K. What if your project's like double the size of that? What if instead of paying in like 5K, you paid in 10? Then it could be 1.2 million, right? I don't know what it's going to be. When I say 10 times over, it's to cover my ass. I'm not going to guarantee you 1.2 million out in a year. I won't. But there will be so much traffic, because there already was so much traffic. Just this time, when we do it again, we are literally going to watch their actions and see what they do and fix things to make it even better. And we're going to take the best known across every one of those projects, and you're going to keep your hands out of it. You're not going to do nothing. You're going to make the payment, be in on the game, and watch. You're going to watch the transparency. You're going to see the number of leads. You're going to see the number of sales. You're going to see the reports on the AdSense when they come out every month. You're going to see the screenshots of the live chats. If we can find a way to feed you into the live chats, we'll do it. And I'm sure we can. Because any lawyer that says, oh, you're going to put my chat feed on your site and I got to go, it's like, yeah, I'll CC you and CC him. No problem, right? Anyone's going to be obese enough to do that because they want to play ball. They don't want to piss us off. They want us to leave them on there, you know? Because there are only so many injury cases a day in any given place or a week. And for everyone that goes to another lawyer, they're not coming back to this lawyer. They're gone. gone. So this lawyer is anxious for every sale they lose that they could handle. They want every sale they can handle. And they want to take on more lawyers to handle more deals. So they don't want those sales to go away. So everyone with the phone numbers we call want to play ball. And they will make the transparency clear. We already know that that's done anyway. So we'll just share the logins. You'll be able to log in and see. And then for the chat transcripts, we'll make sure they get forwarded to both of us in real time or whatever it is, or even shown to us. It will be notified in real time of those chats when they happen. And we just simply don't say a word, right? We're not going to interfere with their communication with the guy. Okay, it'll be something like that. And then finally, for all the AdSense clicks, we'll show the AdSense reports every year. We'll just like do a screen recording privately for you guys who are in, where we log in and just show. And so then the payouts, they'll happen like the next day. So payouts will be probably monthly, because that's how the payouts are going to happen for us most of the time. Okay, and it's huge. I cannot imagine how much money we can make, a lot of us, over the course of this next year, just if you guys get in and help us. We need your help to build that big. Okay, it takes a lot of people doing a lot of work to build that big in a way that dominates without question, because we have it all together. We've made better websites, and now we can do better contents than ever before. So all these people that you see here, we're going to capture so many more times these guys, and you guys are going to split on the earnings, which are at least 3 ways, if not 4. Third way being the chat function. Fourth way being leads that couldn't be handled by those guys or whatever it is that we do to mark them. Just simply get offered to other lawyers in the area, or one who says, heck yeah, I want in to buy all these leads or whatever that rate is. So these will be the leads who've shown engagement, so he can have his receptionist give them a call, right? And see their level of need, or he could call, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, that's the phone number for like $500 a pop. The Google AdSense for $200 to $400 a pop, usually $300. The live chat feature, we'll probably do that at like $200 a pop for every good conversation that looks like it'll probably turn into something. That'll be it. They don't have to become a client in any of these cases. They just have to have a really good conversation with the guy. The guy has to look like he might become a client. He might still turn the lawyer down. We got paid if he turns the lawyer down. Okay, we can't have some guy calling them and faking it. That won't fly very long. I mean, they can only do the program as long as it does prove profitable to them. But they don't expect everyone to sign up. No one expects everyone to sign up. The AdSense doesn't expect anyone to sign up. It's just whoever signs up, right? And then finally, the guy in the area who's buying leads. He's just buying pretty decent leads that have, some competition here maybe. But what he's buying, he can reach out to, and he's buying at a cheap enough rate that he's willing to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 of these guys a day, as long as they show engagement. Okay, if they're already taken, they're already taken, but I'll still pay the $200 a day for these leads, right? If it turns out that these things are doing so well that this guy is feeling pinched at $200 a lead, what do? Drop it, make it $100 a lead. So what? Do you get it? So the difference between spending less and spending more is going for bigger areas that have more accidents, larger dollar payouts, more cases, because the bigger the population, what do you get? The bigger the population, probably the more car accidents generally, the more work-related accidents, the more landlord accidents, the more dog bite accidents, the more accidents, right? So don't dismiss that idea. If you're aiming for the lowest population place for the lowest pay, it's either because you're working up a portfolio where you're buying some cheap ones that have really good numbers, or it's because you're tight on cash. But if it's neither of those two, if you're like, I'm going in on this because I see the point, and hopefully you do, and hopefully you go in on this because this is huge, then the reality check is Go where the most injuries happen. From everything. Cars, construction, landlords, dog bites, whatever. So go for whatever feels good to you. We ran through those numbers. We ran through those states, right? I was talking about these states right here for work-related injuries, okay? You got California, Texas, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. Fewer cases than car accidents, but certainly worth thinking about, you know. So definitely. And by the way, those are only the highest ones, right? I haven't overlapped to check like Alabama or Mississippi or Montana or South Carolina, but there's probably a lot of overlap in there anyway, right? And when you think about that, that's huge because it just gives more room, more fodder to make money from all those different kinds of injuries, okay? This is just really big, guys. It's really big. I want you in. I want all of you doing this so I can focus on this for all of you because we can make this thing fly. And I love it. I love this idea. All right. I hope you guys are interested and you want to get in. And if you do, I'll just see your payments start to come through tonight, tomorrow, the next day, whatever. Whenever you can manage it, payday, whatever. Get in soon because the sooner you're in, the better. I'm making this deal with you right now, assuming you're paying like this week, okay? I want as many guys coming in as possible, but I want all you guys coming in at once, basically, for one reason. I need to lockheed this thing, lockstep it, and grow it up from there so that we can pay attention to the whole of it. So we might go out 1 week. We might extend it a couple more days, but you have to get in now so that we can move the whole thing forward at once for everyone, okay? Okay, I have given you my all on this pitch. I want you guys to think that way. Now, if for some reason you thought, holy cow, Dave, I know how all that fits some other industry. I don't want to hear it right now. You have the right to choose a different industry and go for it. And if you need to explain to me how to babysit it, fine. But I'm telling you, what we're really focused on right now as far as a general direction for people don't know where they're going. And they want to come in through positions so that we do all the work and they get half the pay. You're acting like our angel investors when you come through here. If you go for bigger populations, there's like some in Michigan, right, that are really worth it. So like, what was that? Was it Wayne, Michigan? Wasn't Wayne, Michigan the one with 1,130 car accidents a year? Some weird number like that. 1,100 something in Wayne, Michigan. That's insane. It sounds to me like these guys are just going to be coming to the websites every couple of hours. You know, that's crazy. 1,100, right? So it's more money, but imagine how much you can crank out of that thing with numbers that high. I don't know what to say. It's so huge, it's insane. Okay. Take care, guys. I really hope you guys start getting in. I'd love to see the payments appear. I want to know we're on. I want to know who's in the club. I want to know who you guys are. We'll do some webinars, you know, together just among us where we cover everything. And that's going to be fun, okay? Because this is so exciting. Every time I get talking about the details now with guys who are vested and they realize where their project's going, it's fascinating. All the stuff we're doing, even right now as I speak, the programmers are pounding away new elements of the functionalities. And when I go to bed, and it's like 11:40 p.m. now, when I go to bed and wake up in the morning, the projects, the websites will be stronger than they are right now and capable of more than they are right now. And I mean, we've been hammering at this. We are going to take down the competition. We have the world's first AI bot mass page generation machines that generate web pages that self-monitor for the best ROI and check in with each other for the best tricks from each other and bring them back to improve the best ROI across the board, and then keep monitoring and then meet again. Keep monitoring, meet again, take the adjustments back, monitor, meet again, take the latest best adjustments back. So we're going to simply win. All right? You guys have fun. Can't wait to see you on the inside.